Coinbase loves it because it's going to sell, right? These things are going to sell like hotcakes. GRC, yep, it's next generation link. I heard that one too. I heard all these little comparisons. The Google, it's the Google of blockchain. It's the next link. You know. So. It's because he's white. Nah, it's because he's too cocky. This is his ego. He's too confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
These and which one is not alike, which one of these is not like the others. I think Under Armour from a price performance scenario, from a value scenario, looks very different than the others. There's a reason that stocks are cheap, but sometimes I think a name like this might start to be interesting if the narrative that Nike just told is reflective of the rest of the business, which may or may not be the case.
Well, we're looking at Under Armour right here. I mean, you can certainly see it's recovered, and you've had a couple nice calls in there as well. And it's continuing to climb higher off of those lows. But like you said, along with a couple of other companies here, hasn't really recovered those that pandemic crash and gotten back to the highs there. So we'll see. But it's definitely been creeping back up there. I think, the narrative is playing out a little bit.
And everybody who's asking questions, keep them coming. I promise. Colton, our producer, shout out to Colton, everybody in the chat. He's basically collating all your questions and he's queuing them up for us. So as soon as we get to the Q&A section, we're going to come and pull it. If it's relevant or if I catch it in the middle of the discussion, I'll bring it up. But so please do not be discouraged. Don't feel like your questions are going into the ether. We're collecting them. We'll answer them towards the end. That said, man, market expectations. This is where we use implied volatility and we start to give people an expectation for how to think about the magnitude of moves as you go into a week like this, which again, I think many people were just like you. You think like, hey, we're coming into the holidays. It's been a crazy year. Everybody's just going to pack it in. Well, guess what? The markets don't work like that. Ryan, talk to us. We'd like it when you start talking risk ranges, man. Give us those.
And I will say this, I ran these numbers a little bit early on. We had seen volatility come back in. If you look at the VIX, it's well off its highs. We've seen a bounce in the S&P. So you're seeing some of these things with maybe the exception of oil, but even oil coming back a little bit here. If you run the numbers right now, it might be a little bit different. But the point being, not seeing that here at the moment, seeing much higher expected moves for this week than what we saw over the last couple weeks, even with some of the volatility events on the horizon over the last couple weeks. Crude oil up there. And the other thing to consider is that this is after the move. So this is the market pricing in now the increased volatility presented opportunity.
Support from the government. I mean, maybe you could argue they could have acted faster, but there's been a liquidity injection unlike anything else in our past. The expectations for economic growth next year, 4.2% growth in GDP, man. That's we'll take that number. 10 times out of 10, you say the U.S. economy grew at a 4.2% clip, and you're looking at a pretty solid economic growth, year of economic growth. And I just, that's the flip part where everybody sees it. People are out, they're eating restaurants, engaging in the services market, because remember, it's really the services market that has completely been destroyed. That side of our economy has been destroyed. You can't get online haircuts. You know what I mean? The services part of our economy is what's being destroyed. And I think people see that potential recovery. So then it's like, why would you? Why would you take risk into consideration when you see the potential in the next 6 to 9 months? That's a hard sell as well. But I digress, man. Let's get into the good stuff. You got some more good stuff for us, don't you?
Oh, I love getting into the good stuff.
What a generic comment from me, and then what a generic but salty, spicy comment back from you. I love getting into the good stuff. You understand why this is important on days like today, where the dollar rallies and you're thinking to yourself, all right, what's going on with equity markets? Well, guess what? They're not in positive territory on a day where the dollar's advancing. Talk to us about the correlations we see in these markets.
Yeah, so we throw this up almost every show, at least a couple times a week here. And so people might ask, well, why are you looking at this? These numbers don't change that much. And we're looking at very short-term correlations. To me, if I were to...
You don't say. Hey, Mike.
Didn't know you had a customer.
Rolled in a few hours past. I thought he'd at least called in.
Don't you sweat it, Mike. We're gonna hash it out. Don't you know you owe the sheriff a word when you pay his town a visit? To tell him what's brought you here. Maybe even over a cup of coffee.
Just passing through?
No need to worry. Won't be staying long.
Didn't answer my question now, did you? Name's Andrew Jones. Don't like that a nomad vehicle? Might have expected. Nothing boils my blood like a fucking strain. Where'd your clan pitch camp?
There is no clan. There is no camp. I'm here alone.
Ain't buying it. Nomads always stick to their packs.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts. Sure as hell hope you'll be on your way before long. Ain't got no mind to see you drifting around these parts. Got it?
You sound like... I think... Yeah, obviously I don't want any trouble.
Made it clear. I don't want any trouble.
Then stop looking for it.
The fixer didn't give you the job deeds?
He did. I was just making sure.
Listen, friend. We're both professionals, ain't we? Hey, you, sure you've moved contraband before?
Why, are you nervous?
Me? Nah. Well, maybe a little.
Man, this game is serious business, man. I love it.
Border crossing up ahead. What now?
Nothing. They'll scan us and check our papers.
You all stuff down below.
Okay.
Peace.
I'll do the talking.
We'll go slow. I don't know if it's like a speed limit. Let's get inside the car, shall we?